Hey yo, what's good reader fam? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. Today I am bringing you my Reading Rush book picks. I said I'd never do a TBR video again, and here we are, but I'm doing this for the readathon. Going back on my word today, don't hate me. If you don't know what the Reading Rush is, it was previously the Booktubeathon, which is a Bookternet-wide readathon that takes place from July 22nd to July 28th. Basically, during that time period, you read as much as you can. There are reading challenges, video challenges, Instagram challenges, Twitter sprints. It's just a week full of bookish goodness. There are badges this year, which I'm abnormally excited about. I want to earn all the badges. I gotta catch them all. I want a collection of digital Reading Rush badges to validate how well I do during this week. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of readathons. They always make me feel like I'm not reading enough or I'm not reading fast enough. This is one that I don't enjoy missing. I've missed quite a few in the past, but it's just such a big community thing that I don't want to miss out on it. This year, I'm trying to go into this one open-minded. I'm trying to go with the flow. For me, it's gonna be the reading flow instead of the reading rush. I'm gonna try my best to put little to no pressure on myself during this week, but we'll see how that goes because I'm really bad at not doing that. I put all the pressure on myself at all times. I just hate when I do that because I end up hitting a book burnout, and I don't want to burn out. I want to read all summer, which that's why I'm gonna be kind of avoiding the challenge to read 7 books in 7 days, which I don't think it's actually an official challenge this year, which is nice, but I am gonna be kind of sad on the fact that I'm gonna miss out on that 7 books in 7 days badge. But I think I'd rather not fall into a reading slump rather than getting a digital badge. If you're joining in on the Reading Rush, you should be sure to add my profile on the Reading Rush website. They have a super cool community happening over there. They've got forums. That's where you get your badges, and you can make lots of friends there. It's a great old time. I'll link my profile down below in the description. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my picks that go along with the challenges for the Booktubeathon. So without further ado, let's get started. The first challenge is to read a book with purple on the cover. For this one, I'm going to be reading The Decay of Lying and Other Essays by Oscar Wilde. Mostly because this is the only book that I could find on my bookshelf that had purple on the cover that I hadn't read yet. This will be an interesting one because I don't tend to go out of my way to read essays, and I also haven't read anything by Oscar Wilde yet. I did start The Picture of Dorian Gray, but I set it aside for whatever reason. I don't honestly feel like this is a great jumping point for Oscar Wilde's books, but I'm gonna read it so I can knock off that challenge and get that badge. I may be a little too excited about the badges. So this essay collection covers Oscar Wilde's thoughts on a variety of topics, from politics to art to crime and an array of other topics. I believe the essays are told through character dialogue, which that'll be a nice little twist on the normal essay. I might try to read 1 or 2 essays a day in this. I don't feel like I can just sit down and like read this all day. Like I feel like I would just be bored out of my mind. But who knows? It might be super interesting and might really get me excited about reading essays. I don't know. On one hand, I'm like, oh, this will be a nice read because it's kind of a change up from what I normally read. On the other hand, I'm like, will this be nice to read or will it be a book that just goes over my head? Because that happens way too often. It's really sad. Next, I'm going to be combining 2 challenges. One is to read a book in the same spot the entire time that you read it, and I'm combining that with read a book that you meant to read last year. For these 2 challenges, I'm hoping to read Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. This book has 2 different stories in it. We've got the story of Franny and the story of Zoe. Both stories are tied together because Franny and Zoe are siblings, so it kind of connects. In Franny's story, we follow the breakdown of a conversation that she's having with her significant other about people just being their true selves, and that conversation carries over into Zoe's story, and they also kind of go deeper into the topic of finding yourself and being your true self. I had this on my classics TBR last year, which I only got around to reading 1 of those books. Are we surprised? No. This is why I stopped doing TBR videos, because I would pick out all these books, be like, I'm gonna read these, and then I would read every other book but those books. I think this will be a nice and short one to pick up during the readathon. I can definitely plow on through this sucker. I haven't picked my spot yet as to where I'm gonna read this, but I feel like I'll probably end up in my bed, because I'm a bed reader, not a bedwetter, but a bed reader. I don't know why I just said that. Okay, for my next pick, again, I'm going to be combining 2 challenges. The first one is to read an author's first book, their debut book, and I'm combining this with read a book about a non-human main character. So for this one, I'm going to be reading The Tale of a No-Name Squirrel. I'm going to be reading from the perspective of a squirrel. The reason I have this book in the first place is because one of my friends illustrated it, Audrey Benjaminson. Her illustrations are mind-blowingly good. I highly recommend going and Googling Audrey Benjaminson art because her illustrations are so good. It's sickening how good they are. I'll leave a link down below in the description to some of her pieces. Anyway, enough gushing about my friend. This book follows a squirrel, so we've got that non-human perspective, and this is also this author's first book. I never thought that I'd read from the perspective of a squirrel, but here we are. We have arrived at the squirrel station and we're about to squirrel it up and get squirrely! In this book, this squirrel is a slave, but one day at this wedding ceremony, I believe, he takes a sip from this forbidden wine and it reveals a riddle, which ends up sending him and his friends on this chase to track down this key, which will ultimately lead the squirrel to freedom. The next challenge is to read a book that has a title with 5 or more words in it, which I could just pick this one for that one, but I decided to pick up another one because I've been wanting to read it, and that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender. This book has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words in the title. I can count. We love that. I'm kind of going into this book skeptical because I read a book by this author earlier this year and I wasn't a big fan of it, so I'm feeling a little on the iffy side about this book, but maybe it'll be best to go into this book with low expectations. Maybe the book will grow wings and fly into my heart. Who knows? In this book, we follow a girl who was born with wings, and she goes on this journey to kind of figuring out and understanding why exactly she does have wings. When she dives deep into her family history, she discovers a slew of secrets that are super unexpected. Alright, we have reached the last challenge and my last pick for the readathon. The last challenge is to read a book and watch the movie adaptation for that book. For this one, I picked a book that I've been trying to read for years, and I think I even at one point had it in one of my booktubeathon TBRs, but guess what? I never got around to it, and that is the book Wonder. This story follows a boy who had a facial deformity which prevented him from going to school, but now that he's a little bit older, he's decided that he wants to go to school. So throughout this book, we follow the challenges that he faces while going to school again. There was a book-to-movie adaptation that came out for this book in 2017, I believe, so after I read this book, if I read this book during the readathon, which I'm hoping I get to, but knowing me, I'll end up not reading this book because I've been trying to read this book for years and it's never happened, so who knows. But if I end up reading this book, I'll then watch the book-to-movie adaptation. So those are my picks for the booktubeathon. I haven't fully committed to the idea of vlogging the whole week of the readathon. I'm still dealing with some health issues behind the scenes over here, which is why I haven't been super active and why my content hasn't been super creative lately. So it all really depends if I get it together with my health situation before the readathon starts. Fingers crossed. You guys should let me know down below in the comments if you are participating in the reading rush and which book from your TBR are you most excited about. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright and that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.